Today is the day. Gonna see LaRussell's play. Dun, 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 dun. No, I'm real pumped. Really, really, really excited. The car, can I see it? Yo, that's beautiful. I'm here with my homegirl here.
I am Edwalina. Nice to meet y'all. Looking forward to coming out to Brooklyn, kicking it.
Wait till the Brooklyn show, because you're going to see the three amigos. You ready for Brooklyn?
Coming to Brooklyn. Hey, DJ Dan Marino, a.k.a. Damn Daniel.
This is my crew. We were first in line for dinner. We did do separate shows.
We did.
What did y'all think of the show? Tell us a little bit about the first show.
First show was real emotional. I can say that. Everybody was really in their feelings. It was a lot of soulful. It was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm not gonna lie. Glad I came out to it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite song, something you was really looking forward to him playing?
10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s. 20s, 50s, 100s. I'm finna go invest this money. Did that twice.
Twice?
Yeah, twice.
Don't they got the encore? Okay, boo. I know we was at the same show.
We was at the same show.
What was your highlight?
I loved how he celebrated the women in his community, right? He pointed out all these women who have been instrumental. I just loved how he had them all spotlighted. Really appreciated just seeing all the strong women around him.
Love that.
And knowing that that's also what he comes from and celebrates. That was beautiful.
Hearing you say that makes me think about the little baby girl who he took his jersey off for. I was like, he really is for the people. I was glad to get my eyes, lay my eyes on you at this stage.
Experience it, in person.
Yeah. I can't wait to do this with y'all again.
Because this past 2 years have been the most triumphant time of my life.
Yes,
The
yes.
most painful time of my life. I done lost friends, I done lost family, and I've sacrificed time with them to be here. And even if I don't ever get where I'm going or my story was ever cut short, God forbid, I have family that I gained through being here and community that I gained through being here. And that song is real because y'all niggas need to keep your head up. There's too much going on in the world for you to drop your head. Keep your head up, see it, chin up, chest out, keep moving, you feel me? Let's go. God bless you.
Let's go.
I've been in Brooklyn now officially for 25 days. And I just want to try to get through this recording without bawling because I felt God say sit down tonight. I've been feeling so anxious today. It's Friday, August 29th. Man, I've just been going, and yet somehow resting and finding this harmony between the two. So I'm gonna kind of work backwards. The reason why I had to stop today and record this is because I just finished bawling, crying, wailing. When I went back and watched LaRussell's Tiny Desk clip from GT Coupe, which has been my song this year. It's been my anthem this year, and even in last year, but definitely this year. For some reason, I just feel like if that ain't testimony music, if that ain't worship, if that ain't a reminder that God has the final say in your life, and in many ways, at the time that I was hearing it, I would argue prophetic word into my life. As I sit here in Brooklyn, in Fort Greene, somewhere that I did not see myself ever living, let alone shifting to so quickly. Let me be very clear. The idea of living in New York has always been somewhere in the back of my mind. I love coming here. I love coming on work assignments and, for art, for shows, for pleasure, for a combination of work and pleasure. But living here wasn't necessarily on my bucket list. I thought I was going to be on the West Coast right now, to be honest. I thought I was going to be living somewhere where, in Temecula, where Khalees was with her farm. So when I tell you, as I sit in my deluxe closet in the sky, facing southeast with gorgeous floor-to-ceiling windows, my pup, everything I could ever need, and yet building from the ground up, didn't see this coming. And I know I talked about the manifestation of this in other video clips, but to be here now is deeply humbling. And what I mean by prophetic is I was so low, not even 8 months ago, not even 6 months ago, with a massive shift in my health, but an answered prayer, clarity, I should say, on what had been taking a toll on my life for the last several years. So to be sitting here I'm a miracle. I'm living a real life miracle. So let's get into what does this have to do with Russell, right? It is August In a couple weeks, I'll be sharing a project publicly for the first time in a long time for me. I have not made a post on to the people I know, like to social media, specifically like Instagram and things like that, since November of 2024. I've definitely sprinkled some things on YouTube because I wanted to test and learn how to use it in order to prepare for what I'm about to release and just future like this content. And anywho, GT Coop got me through. Okay. One of the case studies in my book and in my upcoming project titled The Comeback Creative is LaRussell. He was a part of the first 10 people I decided to focus my energy in on over the last 3 to 4 months, just deeply studying his work. I felt like his word was so prophetic. So to be sitting here in the miracle, being reminded like it's not over, felt like an anthem for a comeback, right? For the believers, people who believe beyond what they see in possibility for their lives. And so when I think of those folks, I see certain people. LaRussell's up there for me, doing it his way, literally embodying creative flow alchemy. Anywho, LaRussell's case study is done. I've done all the studying, pulling all these links, watching these interviews, boom, bop, bam, getting ready to what I was originally going to be sharing in like late October. I'll be moving up a little bit because yesterday he announced that he was going to do his $1,000 dinner, $1,000 concert like experience, which I was offline yesterday and I did not see it. But today, when I logged in and I saw it, I think he was at 55K. And I was like, I have to be a part of this experience. I have to be in a room with this person who I've just studied. And what perfect path just cleared for me, because LaRussell's going to be in Brooklyn or in New York. And I will have just left or have just either left for Detroit for my mother's birthday or have left for Greece. I can't remember which day it is. Either way, I couldn't go, and I was heartbroken because I know he's slowing down on shows. He's been telling everybody, like, get in while you can. It's just been a busy year, and I haven't been able to get out to California. I haven't been to California this year. Have I? Let me think. Don't think I have. So it was like, this is the moment. So what I do, I had to drop that coin. And even then, it was not easy. Let me be clear. I called this chapter, I was talking to one of my closest friends. I called this chapter of my life Ticket No Dresser, okay? Because I need to be purchasing some dressers for all these clothes sitting in my closet. 2 cute, narrow ones to go on each side of my bed like a college dorm all over again. And that is what should be my priority. And what is my priority? They're in a cart. But I won't get them till next week because of the holiday. So I figured, here's a better investment. One that I can't miss. Dressers can wait. The clothes is in the closet, child. It can wait. So I'm so grateful. So humbled and grateful to be sitting in my miracle. To be sowing into his miracle. To be witnessing so many miracles around me. My body can almost not even contain it. When I went back and watched the Tiny Desk performance, it was because I was feeling really, again, low. I was feeling low in my body. One of the things I've had to accept about having lupus is when your body is communicating to you, you need to listen immediately. And I've been feeling anxious all day, and I can almost feel myself getting sick. I almost feel myself going into a little bit of a flare. And I'm just like, all right, tune in, breathe. Gain your composure. Pick yourself up, dust that off your shoulder. Like, pick yourself up, dust that off your shoulder. That is literally my mantra, even in this dis-ease. So today, as I sat in acceptance, I'm reminded that while I can't control everything, I can create homeostasis within myself. I can breathe. I can gain my composure. I can hit the reset here and here anytime I need to. And I have to trust that the signals that my body are giving me, which I have overrode for many years, if I think back to what I would consider those original or those first signs of flare-ups, I get the chance to listen, to bring myself into my body, and to allow the healing to happen on multiple levels without being reactionary, right? I can be restorative within myself. And that is something that I'm so grateful for. It's also so exhausting to be in the house on a Friday night while living in a city like this, but I made a promise to myself and a promise to God, very clear, that I wasn't going to come here and run myself raggedy. I ain't keeping up with New York. New York gonna meet me exactly where I am, and I'm going to give everything that I have to it in appropriate doses, ones that in a way that fulfills me and serves me. I'm gonna get all of the vitality I came to get, but I don't have to rush, and it's no race. This is my first recording since I've been in New York. It's my first official sit down conversation. I didn't even bother pulling out my Osmo or any camera. I know that this is low res, generally speaking, you know, recording here on my computer, but it was important to me to do this real time. My heart is so full. My heart is so full. I saw a hummingbird today, and I was like, thank you, God, for, again, just bringing miracles to me. It has not been easy. It's also been very isolating. It's also been very challenging to make a cross-country move solo with a pup while navigating this challenging, complex, chronic condition. But God, but the miracles, but the reminder, but the proof that anything I set my mind to, that God gives me, anything I desire is possible and likely will happen without much effort, so long as I submit myself to it. I have one mission: to meet a version of me I've never met before. That's it. I came to New York to meet me, a version whom I don't even know. She's gonna blow my mind because that's just my expectation. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll close with this. I had a call with one of my mentors, Arlen, yesterday in her inner circle. And it was the first time I spoke to her this year. And it was interesting because I felt nervous and anxious when I got on the call. I told her, I was like, oh, it feels like I'm on a first date all over again with you. And we just laughed because I have, in many ways, been feeling, I don't know, raw and sensitive to putting myself back out in the world because I've been like in this cocoon protecting myself while healing. So having a call with her was like a big leap into accountability, into community again. Arlen is so beautiful. Knowing her story, if you follow my connection, my manifesting that mentorship over the last 5 years, then you will know that one of the things I had to do, one of the things I chose to do, was to invest in her when I saw an opportunity. And being a venture capitalist, Arlen creates so many opportunities for investment. That's why I love what she stands for in her work. Very equity minded. Like anyone can tap into what she has to offer at different levels. And at that particular time, I think it was summer of 2023 or fall of 2023, I made a big investment to invest in her inner circle membership, which has given me direct access to her at any time via text, email, multiple times a year in person, up to, quarterly one-on-one sessions. So many benefits, again, that I didn't take a lot of advantage of this year. So I wanted to close the year strong. When I reached out to Arlen yesterday, I was telling her what I'm working on, and honestly, just giving myself space to be heard, to be accountable. Arlen and LaRussell are very similar. And what I see is an opportunity to truly pour into someone who cares, who's going to continue to create opportunities, who is the model and a blueprint for a way we have not seen things done before, and someone who has mad integrity. I am learning from them both. I see one as my direct mentor. I see the other as my collaborator, my peer, and someone I just respect, and someone who's mentoring me through the work that they're doing in real time, and who hopefully one day will grace my series and my book with a real-time interview, a real conversation, and a lifelong collaboration and connection. So I'm claiming that today, Friday, August 29th at 9:19 p.m. Eastern. I am back in Brooklyn. I thought it was really important for me to take a moment and reflect for myself before sharing with y'all what my experience of the $1,000 backyard concert experience was. Chef's kiss. It's now Wednesday. The show was on Sunday, and I'm still up here after days of travel. I was exhausted when I got home, but I was so excited to just sit down and truly tap in and share with y'all my reflections. So I think I want to walk you through my experience from a few different angles. The first being when I walked in, I pull up, I'm in the Uber, I've just left Berkeley, I'm pulling into Vallejo for the first time. It's my first time on this side of, the country. My first time in Vallejo. And, I pull up to the street and I'm like, it's so quiet. It's so calm. I mean, I'm passing looks like a local rec center, and make a left, pull onto the street. And I'm just expecting parking to be crazy. I'm expecting the city, the street to be blown blocked off or just like some really dramatic effect. And it was everything but that. I was able to pull directly up to the house. And when I got out, you could hear the remnants of like some laughter, some sound. Like, you know, when you pull up to your family barbecue and they in the backyard, that's kind of like the vibe I was getting. I was there at about, let's say 4:25, 4:30. The show was scheduled to start at 5. But LaRussell has always said we start on time, sometimes early. So your girl knew to get there early. And I'm so glad I did, because when I walk up, there's like a few people who are working security, but they're very inconspicuous. Like, I don't feel like I'm at a local party where they about to make me feel uncomfortable and go through my bag. Like, yes, they did a little bit of a spot check, a search. I definitely felt safe, but I didn't feel uncomfortable. I just felt like, you know, a couple of uncles was checking in on you, girl, making sure everything was good. I wore my little clear bag because he made sure to let us know, you know, all protocol. So when I got there, I walk up, they're like, okay, here's your wristband. Nothing but love. Everybody greeted me with so much warmth. They went over to the table where the young women that are working there had my bag. They're like, what's your name? They don't have no long check-in list. They just like, scan me, boom, walk over. What's your name? Rachel. Here you go. Give me a yellow bag with my name on it with some goodies in it. I'm not even looking in the bag because I'm just so overwhelmed by how much love I'm already experiencing within the first few minutes of getting there. So I like enjoyed the show. I walk in. He has his activation set up with like the Good Company green, like red carpet with the green background so you can take your photos. There's the big gold chair and then the merch table. Of course, I'm about to get some merch. Got me a Good Company beanie. I love a beanie. Beanies love me. I get some merch. Of course, it's the pay what you want model. Everyone there is just so sweet. I'm still overwhelmed by the love. I think that's the thing that I want to hone in on, is like how much love I have from every single interaction, from the pat down to the table to now purchasing the merch. I noticed something. There was a guy standing next to me buying some merchandise. And as he approached the table, the gentleman who was making the sales for us, he said, you know, I noticed you. I remember you. And they chopped it up and he was like, yeah, I remember your face. And it was sure enough somebody who had been to multiple shows. So that just goes to show you how they really are in tune. Everybody on LaRussell's team, everybody who's a part of his community. And I think that that's important to note, because when you go and you're climbing into your success and you're having such an openness and accessibility to you, it's important that you remain safe and that you have good people around you. And you can tell that he's truly built that. And I just pray over his life that everyone on his squad, everyone on his team is just constantly covered and taken care of, because they give so much love. Down to, I walk in, I'm walking to the back, to the backyard. I'm thinking I'm early. Remember, maybe the people's already, they must have been there at 3:30 because I could barely find a seat. It was enough room for all of us. I remember kind of squeezing in to get in where I fit in. And where I was standing, there's a gentleman who walked up to me. He's like, oh, this is my seat, but you can have it. I'm like, again, love, 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 love. But I'm like, I think we can make it work. So the two of us were able to sit next to each other. He ended up becoming somebody I'm really happy I met on this journey. All that is before the show, baby. LaRussell ain't even on the scene yet. And I'm just in awe of how much intentionality was in that room. I think the first person I saw that I recognized outside of like the choir and some of the crew was Tieta, and she was there doing her commander role, doing her general role, stepped on stage with such grace, and she just commands the space so beautifully. I love that about her. One of the things that I just having the chance to witness her in person, you can just see the grace, but also the authority that she carries, and that's really important when you're facilitating and like leading spaces. Like, she embodies that. Her words are like poetry even when she's giving instruction. So she gets on, she's like, we're getting ready to start. Here go a couple of house rules. You can tell she's exhausted. They had just had, I think that was their third show in 24 hours, the matinee show having just completed, and then they had another show that they traveled from not too long before. While we made an investment, yes, this is a gift. He's sharing his birthday with us. He's sharing his home with us, his time, his energy. All of them that are there are doing this out of love. This is all before the show. You know, I hope y'all can sit with that and let that resonate. A lot of times when you go to events, we talk about the experience, but we don't talk about as much how much work goes into curating what you walk into before the show ever starts, before the musicians, before the music, before the artist ever hits the stage. It takes so much intentionality. As someone who has created spaces, it starts months before. And he didn't even have a huge runtime. As we know, he just announced this back in August, and this is on October 5th. So it wasn't like he had half a year or even a year to plan this. I want to give props to all of the people at Good Company who put their love and time into this, and to the general himself, to LaRussell, for modeling excellence and intentionality and fun and lightheartedness and joy. One of the things that I loved in my bag is he was like, hip hop fun again. That's what I really felt like. I felt like he made this experience a gathering of family. I feel like I was with my cousins and my uncles and my aunts. It was everything I needed and more. And I think about all the years of missing my own like family barbecues and gatherings, especially during C19, like being locked down during the pandemic. A lot of the family gathering and community gatherings slowed down. And I feel like this is such a good like burst back into that. So that is before the show. I'm now going to show y'all some of my favorite clips because it was such a special experience, and you know, with LaRussell's permission for recording, I don't want to overshare, but I just want to show y'all a few of my favorite clips throughout the night. One being, well, I'll just show them to y'all. Y'all check them out.
If only 3 people show up, give 3 people a hell of a show.
That's it. That's it.
This is how we do it. Oh, hey, how we do it.
We outside. We outside. School just started, but you know we outside. We ready to go.
As you can see, the concert was live. He was, you could tell he had such an emotional moment where he just kind of like broke down in tears and his people rallied around him. You can see in the second show, he was riding off of that high, but also just still fully present with us and allowing and weaving in the people in his community into the show. I was so grateful for that. I didn't feel like I missed anything. I feel like he gave me a full plate. And then had the nerve to turn around and have all of us together for a beautiful dinner, over 300 people in a local community. Super sweet owner. I met the owner at the beginning of, because I, again, you know, Ubered my way quickly from the show to the next location. I'm so glad I did because, again, I got to meet the owner, and then I ended up first in line with 2 of my new friends. I mean, like, we call ourselves the 3 amigos now. I feel like I'm pretty locked in with them. So grateful to have just sat, had dinner. Even the people we sat across from, everybody in our room, it was a big family reunion. It's something about gathering with people with one clear intention. And while we were there to enjoy the music and to celebrate LaRussell, I think there was an undercurrent of being there, honor our own creativity and our own creative spirit, and to be in a room where it was safe to be 100% yourself. I met artists who had sketched and painted beautiful pictures of him. I saw other musicians. Someone traveled all the way from Paris to be there. It was just incredible. Even after the show, when I stepped out of the concert, people were walking up to me and giving me love and connecting, becoming Instagram friends with people who I never had a conversation with. They just walked up. It was like the spirit of love in the space. So to sit down, have dinner, he had 3 meals prepared for us that we could choose from, and they weren't no little bitty portions, baby. He fed us well, okay? Shout out to the chef, I think it was Chef Jules. The choir was incredible. The sound engineer, his DJ, the harpist, the brother behind me that was playing sax. It was just love. So much radiance, so much joy, so much fun. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I wouldn't skip one thing. There were no misses. And to end the night, having the chance to just walk up to him and thank him and hug him. Because one of the things I haven't mentioned yet is 2 days before the show, I was in Colorado. I flew into Colorado to see a good friend on my way to California. And we were on our way to a hike, and I got a phone call, and it was like LaRussell time. I'm like, hey, wait, turn the music down. And I looked down, and it's LaRussell calling me. Now, mind you, I knew that he was gonna call because he said he was gonna do a thank you call, and the man keep his word. But I didn't expect this man to carve out now, especially knowing he had done 2 performances before the evening show. How do you find the time to carve out to call 200 people? Personally, somehow he did. So I look on the phone, I'm like, I see his name. Hello? Is this really LaRussell? He's like, I mean, in so many words, he's like, who else would it be? And we just cracked up. And I'm like, wow, thank you so much for taking the time to do this right now. And he was just so sweet. He was like, it's nothing. I want to say thank you. I look forward to seeing you Sunday at the show. And to me, that's just the ultimate experience to see somebody be about what they say they're about. Another reflection I want to call out that I think is really important is LaRussell talked about, someone asked him the question, what do you want to experience for his birthday for the year ahead? Like, does he have a specific wish? And I salute him for his transparency and honesty, because his answer was essentially like, I want to get in the green. And his reasoning was, you know, he had said like he had grossed X amount of millions. I believe he said 10 million over the last 2 years, but he had spent, let's just say 12. The point of him sharing that, I'm sure, wasn't about the literal numbers, but more about the fact that everything he's been building, he's been pouring right back into his business. And so, as we know, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a creative, somebody who's investing in yourself, you do not get into the green immediately. And when you're service service provider, or like, you know, not just product, which I think has been Russell's biggest play is his merchandise, along with the fact that he is just so lovable and approachable. You know, I really think his merchandise and the way that he set up his name your own price model has allowed him to make the millions. But now I think he is recognizing, and he said it in his own way, that I just want to be able to get to a point where I can take care of my team and let us rest a little bit. Like, give us a little bit of breathing room, because I'm sure the grind is serious when you are doing it the way you've been doing it. You know, if you look back just even a few weeks ago, less than 2 months ago, the pergola was green space and people could step in and experience the show, but they were just standing. He built bleachers for us to be able to sit. That's not cheap. That is not cheap. He invested in merchandise custom specific for us. Love, he gifted us with these beautiful signed merchandise. These little things, they add up. I want y'all to understand, when you're in business as a creative, every little dime counts. Everything. Printing out handwritten note. This stuff is not cheap. If you're an entrepreneur, you know, business cards, every piece of paper you're buying, it costs money. I do not take for granted the level of intentionality and detail that he poured into this experience. And I'll end with this. The DJ, the dinner, watching him move around with his family. I can't even call us fans, with his extended family, with these people who came from far and wide to see him, reminds me how important it is for us to spend time together and to be reachable. I look forward to seeing everyone again, all the people that I got to connect with that night at different points in time, since we all will be able to have access to his shows for life. I look forward to what that represents, and like these different shows being milestones in our growth. I look forward to seeing how 1 year from now he grows, and I just speak blessings into his life. I pray that God gives him everything he desires this year ahead, but even beyond, like beyond his wildest imagination, that his blessings will be fulfilled, that Tieta is blessed, that everybody on a team gets to see the fruits of their labor right now, and that we continue to give artists like LaRussell his flowers while he's here. If you don't know about LaRussell, what you waiting on? Even if you are not a hip hop lover, I think that we will be studying, and I think you will be hearing about his name for many, many years to come. I think what he represents in independent artistry is something that can be consumed across industries, across genres. It's so much more than just what his impact is on hip hop, but rather what his impact is on independent artistry, on culture building, on community building. He is a walking masterclass, and I'm so proud to have witnessed what he represents. And I don't know, one more thing. My favorite takeaway from LaRussell's journey was his discussion about his parent, his mother, and his father. He talks about them in his music, but it's something special about being able to have parents who love and support you every step of your way, and then to honor them by purchasing your childhood home, converting it into a creative space where your neighbors and community can partake into, where you can raise up the next generation of artists, where you can raise up the next generation of entrepreneurs, give people platforms to grow and experiment, and have your parents get to witness that. Russell, man, I really love you and the human that you are, and I'm so proud of you. And I know that you are your parents and so many of all of our ancestors' wildest dreams. So just shout out to you. I look forward to the opportunity for all the miracles that I'll get to witness in your life. And I look forward to the opportunity to collaborate you, because it's inevitable. I speak things into existence, and I know what I know. I'm just grateful to call you my future friend, and to just raise you up in this season of growth. You are everything that millennial creator and beyond. You represent the best of all of it. And thank you for your transparent evolution. You're giving all of us so much hope. Shout out to everyone. Go get y'all some merch, because this flyers. Look at this. Baby, I'm a 90s baby, not 94, but shoot, he got me proud to rock the 94. Peace.